right, we'll get to your ADD news right now on KROQ. We are Klein Alley's show, and then we will get you onto a flight to travel somewhere in the world and see an amazing KROQ band. The details coming up in about 5 minutes right here. But first, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. Her wife is probably cheating on her right now.
You never know. She's still out of town. All right, the Tom Brady Roast happened last night. It was the first live roast ever. It was hosted by Netflix and Kevin Hart. Klein was there to witness it firsthand, and I'm curious if you agree with how it's being received. Overall, a lot of people said it was effing awesome. A lot of great jokes were made. There were jokes about Tom's divorce, losing his family, losing millions in Bitcoin, and the fact that Giselle is now dating her jiu-jitsu coach. And one thing a lot of people are talking about is the joke that Jeff Ross made about Robert Kraft and how Brady got up and seemingly scolded him after making the joke. This was the joke.
That scrawny rookie famously walked into the owner Robert Kraft's office and said, "I'm the best decision your organization has ever made. Would you like a massage?" I love Robert Kraft. I love him. Again. Okay.
That's when Tom Brady stood up. And by the way, there was a few times where it looked like he was about to stand up and say, like, hey, enough jokes either about my wife or my family.
He didn't do that about his family or his kids.
No, it was great. In fact...
But do you think that this was kind of a funny... Like, the way he said it, I feel like it was just him hamming it up a little bit. Come on, don't say that again. Like, was he part of it?
The reason that I thought last night was so great, and I have been there. I was there when they did the Roaster Roseanne. I was there for the Bob Saget roast. I've been in the crowd at quite a few of those roasts. I'm very lucky in that way. This one felt like everyone was having such a good time. The people, if you think about the types of jokes that were made.
There were some jokes that were really...
They pushed the envelope. And in a climate now where everyone's all woke and concerned about being canceled and da-da-da.
Nikki Glaser said the R word.
Oh, hard R.
Yeah.
Allie, there was a couple N-words getting thrown around there. And I'll tell you one thing, though. Being in that venue, I don't know how it played so much on Netflix, but people seem to enjoy it. Being there at the Forum, it felt like everyone... had such a good time just being able to laugh at things that were truly jokes.
It was
and
like
that's
a safe space.
And it became like remember when the world seemed a little bit more fun when everyone didn't have to cancel everyone and do Twitter mobbing cancel? Because, and the reason...
it's an environment where everyone understands that they're just going to say whatever is the funniest thing.
And that's why it was very important that they wanted to go live on Netflix. They didn't want it to be edited after the fact because then you do get... quote jokes that leak and people go like, you won't believe what was said and had to be cut out. And it was just this live thing and it felt like everyone was kind of protected because of it. But I mean, Allie, jokes about gays, jokes about straight.
Julian Edelman was telling black jokes.
Black jokes, a 9/11 joke, a Boston bombing joke. I mean, they hit every tragic.
Bring me a hoe too, and your tickets are yours.
He was there.
Was that there?
Still canceled.
Cancel Klein.
Cancel Klein. It was beautiful. Congratulations, Jeff Ross. Nikki Glaser stole the night.
Dude, Nikki Glaser was the best.
The return of Ron Burgundy.
She was the goat of the roast. Here's just one of her jokes. This is one that she made about Kevin Hart.
Kevin is 5'2", 150 pounds. 155 after The Rock finishes, but...
That's great.
And then
Rob Gronkowski.
This is her talking about Rob Gronkowski.
Ski is not all here. Hey, Rob. No, Gronk, I love you. You put the downs in touchdowns. You really do. I'm so sorry, Rob. You haven't caught this much heat since you were microwaved as a baby. I'm so...
funny.
The best was I was watching his face a lot during the night because...
He got stuff, but then didn't
he
get
didn't
stuff.
get a lot of the jokes, and he kept turning to Kevin Hart or whoever's next to him, and they was explaining the jokes the whole night. It was so great.
I'll just play one more. This is from Drew Bledsoe. This is the guy who was the #1 draft pick the year that Tom Brady was drafted, and
no, he was drafted way before.
And then he ended up getting injured, and then Tom Brady came in. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Buddy, you have more rings than I do, but I've experienced a couple things that you will never experience. The feeling of being the #1 overall draft pick in the NFL and a 28th wedding anniversary. It was yesterday.
It was so good. Dude. He took
great.
a lot of heat, but I'm telling you, he looked happy the whole time.
He did. He looked very happy.
Living the
because
good
at
life.
the end of the day, he's good looking and rich.
Biggest bomb of the night, Ben Affleck went out there, and everyone was real excited because Ben Affleck's a big
I
star.
haven't watched that yet, but I heard it was
I
bad.
think that he thought because he's so famous that he could just go up there and, not wing it. I'm sure he had a script, but I think he thought he could survive on charm alone. And
Yeah, it doesn't work in that room.
No.
And Nikki Glaser slayed because you could tell she put a lot of work into it.
Jake saw her perform her entire routine weeks ago. She
Yeah.
practiced it. Word for word.
Yeah.
The
I was
comedian.
mad. I didn't hear that Burt Kreischer joke she said on stage.
Oh, yeah. She was like, I love your joke. Just the one joke. that
No,
he
it was
makes
good.
all the
Yeah,
time.
Christ, right. Bert was there. Tom was there. It was crazy. Good event, Netflix. Good job.
Yeah. All right.
Bravo.
Bed Bath & Beyond, the 99-cent stores, Red Lobster. These are all companies that have gone bankrupt or are about to go bankrupt. And now we can add to the pile a place that maybe you went to a lot when you were younger. Sam Ash is closing. Of their locations. Yeah, they're starting their closing sales. They're beginning today, and they put out a statement saying, "Thank you for allowing us to serve musicians like you for over 100 years."
Yeah, I worked there for a couple of years.
You did? I worked at Tower Records, which I think is also gone, but I feel like Sam Ash is more of a household name.
Omar, I feel like you didn't have a big enough ponytail to work there.
That is true. Well, I worked in the pro audio department, but we had our manager, man, he had enough ponytail for the rest of us.
Okay, yeah,
really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how you
totally.
I think that's how you determine who gets the highest position at Sam Ash is whoever's got the longest ponytail.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to run the store. Your ponytail goes down to the halfway through your back. Yep.
And then finally, according to a new study, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Klein, and the things that you watch regularly, I know you love any show that has anything to do with sex. In a recent study, they have figured out that there are 40% less nude scenes and sex scenes in all movies.
It's terrible.
But when they do put in a sex scene, it is way more graphic than it ever used to be.
But most of them now keep them out altogether. And sometimes I see a little warning before it. It says sexual content, sexual situations. But if you don't get that nudity warning, why are you wasting your time?
Yeah, exactly.
So
106.7 KROQ. K-Rock.
Klein, Alley, Show.
that's new Green Day on KROQ. It's called Dilemma. The last time we sent a listener to Dublin, Ireland, it was to see that band right there, Green Day. Just announced earlier this morning, the next destination, KROQ World Tour 2024, back to Ireland, this time Kings of Leon. We will get you on that standby boarding list. The first name will go on in about 1 hour, and then you'll have a chance again at 9, noon, 3, and 6, pretty much all week long here at KROQ before we give away that trip 1 week from today. You, Ireland, Kings of Leon. But first, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for... wait. Where's my Adderall? Hey! Get back here! No!
Mystic Dan
Oh, yeah, baby.
is not a name of an old radio host. It's the name of the horse that just won the Kentucky Derby with 18-1 odds. It was a photo finish. He won by a nose. Klein, I'm sure you can relate.
I lose by a nose every day. So that was
You're
so
really
exciting.
losing today by a nose because of all your allergy stuff.
I just want you to know I realized I accidentally took a sleeping pill during the show today, and I'm going to apologize for what I do over the next 2 hours.
I think you're starting to slur a little.
I am. I thought I took an allergy something because of all the wind. It's been kicking up bad.
But it was funny hearing you try and figure it out. You're like, well, it was a blue pill, but it wasn't a purple pill, so it's probably not sleep.
I just looked it up. It's definitely sleep.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you have sleeping pills just rattling around in your pocket?
This was in my backpack, but it's the bag I bring when I travel. So I bring a little bit of medicine with me, uppers, downers, lefters, righters.
Yeah, everyone has that plastic baggie that's just an array of different things.
And I couldn't really read the code right because it's kind of faded at this point, but I took 2 sleeping pills. So we'll see how the next 2 hours go.
Not even halfway through the show.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Really? Oh, no.
All right, overall betting on the Kentucky Derby reached an all-time high of $320 million, which is up $30 million from last year. So what we're learning is that America loves gambling more than ever before. And I think because of websites and apps like FanDuel, people don't feel so much shame anymore when they're gambling. So I think people are feeling really free to just do it out in the open.
I never felt shame, but I will tell you, of all of the bets, Allie, I love placing bets.
I know you love placing horse bets.
Horse bets are the most fun
because they are
far.
so impossible to Like, you can't strategize horse races. It's just just pick one.
Just so you know, because I know you're El Cheapo, a 50-cent trifecta, which means if you would bet 50 cents, because that's what these horse racer guys are so degenerate that they put a lot of bets in it, $1, $52 boxes, exactas,
I do
whatever.
like that you can do little bets, yeah.
If you hit these three, the first three in the right order, 50 cents, I think paid just over $1,000.
Okay.
So think of it if you were betting like a big boy, and you put $2, $5 or whatever. That thing, life-changing.
Can you just do every combination?
You could, but the odds of it, the answer is it would take you a lot of time, and then probably if one of the lower odds combinations ended up hitting, it wouldn't pay that well. So it wouldn't matter. Let's just say you did every combination, so you're into this thing for a couple $100, and then it ends up being a couple of the favorites win the race. Your $1 bet would have paid you $18.
Right.
You'd still be down a lot.
But your chances of winning are much higher.
Winning, not money, but feeling like you won. I mean, listen, I lost most of my bets, but I won one bet, and I felt great. I still feel great, and I owe bookie money. So I shouldn't feel great.
That's real shame, folks.
That is real shame.
All right, everyone loves a good celebrity feud, especially when it involves diss tracks. Some would say Taylor Swift's entire album is diss tracks. But the big one now that everyone's talking about is between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And to explain this, I'd like to turn it over to our music correspondent, Postmaster Johnny. Take it away, Postmaster. You want to sum this up for us in a radio-friendly way?
Yes. Okay. So basically we learned that Kendrick beats his wife.
Okay, whoa. This is all alleged and because of a diss track.
No, if the diss tracks,
what kicked off the beef?
Diss tracks are actually factual.
Diss tracks are factual.
Yes, get it straight, guys. I know you guys aren't in tune to the streets, but you know what? If it goes on a diss track, it definitely happened, man.
All right, so you're saying now that this started...
Kendrick killed Kennedy.
When the diss track came out, implying that there was...
That Kendrick is physically abusive towards his fiance, right?
Yes, and
that doesn't rhyme as well when Allie does it.
It's physically.
It's hard to come up with a good rhyme scheme for Allie's sentence, but sure. Okay, that's what he implied, or that's what he said. Okay, follow up. Point A. Then what?
And then the thing about Drake is Kendrick replied and said, "Drake, you have a secret daughter that you've been hiding from us, and she's 11 years old." But Drake rebutted and said, "Actually, Kendrick, you're an idiot because somebody on my team leaked that to you, and it's not real news."
Whoa.
And that's the big shocker. He's like, "You're an idiot. You listen to anything anybody says, so all of your disses are not factual."
Whoa.
That's why I think Drake won. I think Drake's winning. I'm going to put it out there. That's like fire.
Well, what way to spin that? Thanks for confusing me way more.
Kendrick Lamar is the first one that came out with a diss track, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they've had beef for like a while. This is like bubbling up for years. Actually.
So they're just going back and forth, and I imagine that's kind of stressful for somebody who's writing rap music, and you want to make sure that it's good what you're putting out, but you're like, hold on, Kendrick Lamar just came out with this. I got to write something now. I got to get it up by the end of the day. I mean, it's probably pretty stressful being in a feud.
It feels vintage.
So funny, though, that
it does.
These are grown-ass adults, and then they're like, all right, what did he say? All right, now I'm going to sit down and write my rebuttal.
I'm going to say I planted that information.
I need to write a rhyme to get back at him. It's kind of like
so 90s.
It's two guys fighting through poetry is what it is.
It's beautiful in a way. But I think there were some really low-blow ones, like about Kendrick Lamar being short and having tiny shoes.
Yeah. That's great.
I mean, he's just really tiny, though. All rappers and like artists are all short.
Yeah, and then there's another one about Drake being a pedo.
Yeah, he likes minors like Millie Bobby Brown and stuff at the time. But you know what? What they really need to do is get in the boxing ring and just throw hands like real men.
This is one of the, I don't know which one of them. This is the diss track.
There once was a morning DJ called Klein.
No.
On pizza he loved to dine. A gambling disgrace who opened doors with his face.
Thank
and
you.
Pavloved his wife to peanut butter jelly time.
All right, see that? That's shots fired. Coming at me, Blind Charlie. I'll diss track you all day.
Yeah, you got to make a diss track, Klein.
Because I walked into a door, you got to make a rhyme about it.
Klein, Alley Show. The world-famous KROQ. KROQ.
Cannons will be here a little bit later today, actually. I think they're taking over the helpful Honda sound space at KROQ. When is that? Johnny, when is that? This afternoon at some point? Are we going to still be here, or is it later?
It's later tonight at 8 p.m.
Oh, my God damn, so late. Can
Klein's going to go.
Can they move that to 10:30 a.m.? Is that too much to ask?
You know, I tried earlier, and they said they just couldn't do it today.
All right, well, a lot of listeners won their way into that, so enjoy yourselves. That'll be a good one. And then tomorrow, Cage the Elephant will be here, and Allie and I get to, hopefully... by tomorrow, Allie, I'm going to stop taking the sleeping pills, and I'll be ready to go.
Okay, perfect.
Or no promises. We'll just
You'll wake up at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.
So we got that to look forward to. A lot of stuff happening. In 5 minutes, get you on that standby boarding list. You want to travel and see Kings of Leon in Ireland. Oh, a lot of things to win from us this morning. But first, what's going on in the world?
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. Consider this your push notification.
All right, just a few more key moments from the Tom Brady roast last night. Overall, it's always a good night when Kim Kardashian is being booed, which is what happened when she took the stage.
Crazy.
I saw a headline that said the Tom Brady roast was the night that comedy needed. I feel like that's so true because it kind of brought comedy back to itself.
Listen.
And everyone loved it.
Assuming they don't attempt to do the whole cancel, let's go by joke now and cancel all these people.
Which I haven't seen a lot of this morning.
Because the reality is everyone, for some reason, got all ass backwards and confused in this country, and they didn't understand that something that was set up under the guise of a joke, potentially delivered by an actual comedian or written by a comedian, is not treated the same as a recorded conversation that was taken behind the scenes. And there's a major difference. And somehow it all got blurred together.
Yeah.
And I thought everyone was great. There was no fear. It was a beautiful
Well, the loser
roast.
of the night was Ben Affleck.
He sucked.
He sucked. He was criticized for all kinds of things. They said it was like a car crash. So watching a car crash. He was criticized for having bad plastic surgery. He went on some weird rant about social media and wasn't really even telling jokes. And then he even said at one point that he probably wasn't going to be asked back, which is probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
The best jokes of the night and the one person who won the roast in a lot of opinions is Nikki Glaser. And here are some of her best jokes. I know we can't get to all of them, but there were some really choice ones.
You look like your pronouns are it, that.
Oh, that was to Jeff Ross.
Yeah, it's true. So funny.
How much would it suck just knowing your ex-wife's new boyfriend can beat your while eating hers? That's gotta be terrible.
That was to Tom Brady.
You retired, then you came back, and then you retired again. I mean, I get it. It's hard to walk away from something that's not your pregnant girlfriend.
Oh, man. Yeah,
good.
It's kind of crazy because, at some point, a lot of times when people agree to, quote, get roasted, it's like, yes, you can roast me, but the following 12 things are off limits. Like, I don't want
Do
you
you
to
think he really...
And I know. I don't. I think he was.
He said,
did
just let it fly.
He did it the right way. And by the way, what does he have to hide? Everyone knows. Greatest quarterback, richest guy, good looking. Just got another $300 million a year contract to go over and do Fox. Like, the guy's life couldn't be better right now.
I know. He's doing great.
So
Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like...
So great.
I have one more thing to say, and I promise to keep it Kevin Hart.
Great short show. That was good. I mean, it was funny because it was really long, 3 hours, and it did feel long being there, and it was funny for a lot of it. But
hers was only like 5 or 7 minutes or something.
but the whole thing, over the course of 3 hours, it was every joke about Kevin Hart was that he was short and does terrible movies. Yeah, joke. Like,
she said he wakes up at 4 a.m. every morning to make a crappy movie.
Yeah, he's a hardworking guy. But the reality is, it was just, I don't know, spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of CTE jokes you got, her genitals had CTE.
Yeah, and she was like, but I can't. I'd show you, but the NFL doesn't want me to.
It was great.
It was great.
Congratulations. Everyone involved in that. Jeff Ross. I was texting with Jeff Ross last week. I wanted him to try to pop on it, and he goes, I am so buried in this roast right now. Just getting it all exactly
how often
right.
What is it, every 3 or 4 years?
Well, it used to be a lot more often. It used to be annual on Comedy Central for a while, and then the world got all scared.
Yeah.
And then we talked to Whitney Cummings here, and she told us the reason she started doing the OnlyFans roasts, because the only place she thought she could actually do the roast was on OnlyFans,
right.
because mass pop culture had moved away from this roast style of joke telling.
Yeah, but I think we're moving back slowly.
I hope so. It was beautiful.
All right, the hardest place in the country to save money turns out to be right here in Southern California. They did a study. They looked at all the debt-to-income ratio in the major cities, and they did hands down figure out that California is the hardest state to save money in. But the city where it is the hardest to save is Riverside, California, followed closely by LA and Orange County. Riverside had the most difficulty paying for daily expenses. They had a lower minimum wage just by a couple dollars than some of the other cities, and they spent the most on rent compared to what they make. And then they went to like a Forbes advisor where they're like, here's how Americans can save money. And the main recommendation was cutting costs in expensive areas include try to cook at home instead of going out and dining out. And I'm like, dude, there's not a big difference in price doing that anymore.
Minimal.
Eating at home is not that much cheaper than eating out.
If you're one of these people that is actually like those extreme couponing people that have figured out a way to game the system, but also they buy 100 pounds of chicken at a time, and they figure out a way to portion it out and freeze some of it. It becomes almost a second full-time job in figuring out how to eat on a quote budget,
and
as opposed to
still,
what most of us do, which go, let's just pick something up on the way home and eat it.
Or if you buy the cheaper stuff that's usually crappier for you.
Yeah.
You're still spending, especially for like a family of four, $200-$300 a week sometimes.
Bucket of chicken, problem solved.
All right, kids being absent from school happens more than ever before. What do you think of this? New York is starting to do it. If your kid has too many absences, you will have to pay money. Does that change your effort? To the effort that you make to get your kid to school.
Yeah, you jack them up with Tylenol and you send them. That's what you do.
Well, it's not even just sick. It's like, we're going on vacation, or like pulling your kid out of school is happening more and more. But if the parents have to pay, then the kids actually stay in school and they can actually
never
learn
miss
some
a
stuff.
day. I got chicken pox. I got lice. You're going in. I'm paying $1 for this. Caller 20. Get your name on a standby boarding list so you can travel to Ireland. Thanks for eavesdropping in on our radio show, you perverts.
Yeah. When you're not being reported by your neighbors, you can check out the podcast or the live show on KROQ or wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right, which apparently is a lot of places. Find Klein Alley Show and listen to this show in its entirety. Plus, if you download and subscribe, we will save a puppy from being executed.
Oh my God, there's puppies being executed?
Oh, there goes another one.
Oh, those are high stakes.